Alright, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the North Coast Brewing Company, and they're headquartered in Fort Bragg, California, and this is their Laguna Baja. So this is a Mexican-style dark lager that comes in at 5% alcohol by volume, 19 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is just under 3 months old, and I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Billy, for this beer. So huge thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail boxing video I did that contains all the goodies he sent my way, and he sent me an entire box of North Coast goodness. It included 7 different beers. There included was a tart cherry Berliner Weiss, an old ale, 3 IPAs, and 2 lagers, and this is one of those 2 lagers. Now, you might actually see this review after I review their Scrimshaw, which is a German-style Pilsner. However, I'm reviewing this one before that beer because I'm saving Scrimshaw for shelfie beer reviews in the month of August 2025. Reason being, Scrimshaw is a shelfie beer, and I can get it here in the Buffalo, New York area. However, usually it's quite old in my area. The one Billy sent was quite a bit fresher. So regardless of whether you see this first or that, just let it be known I'm drinking this one before Scrimshaw. Anyway, so this is a Mexican-style dark lager, and on their website, they post a lot about this one, but they specifically say it's a classically styled Vienna lager in the Mexican mode. Rich dark amber with a malty aroma and full creamy body. So I'm picturing this is going to be an American craft version of like Dos Equis Amber, right? Because a lot of the Mexican style dark lagers are basically a Vienna style lager, but a lot of them will add like corn, you know, it becomes almost an adjuncted lager to some degree. I don't know if that's the case with this one because they don't really specify anything as far as the ingredients go, but I would not be surprised if that's the case. But this is a Mexican-style dark lager. Got the Tecate light glass because why not? I got no hashtag proper glassware for North Coast, so we'll use the Tecate glass because why the fuck not? All right, so I didn't pour it all that aggressive, but that head is terrible, and it's usually the person pouring it, so that's on me, but whatever. See if I can swirl something up here. No, not really. Whatever, not a big deal. So how does that look in the glass? Yeah, that's amber. That is 100% amber. What you're seeing on camera is exactly what I'm seeing in person. Beautiful, like an amber color, brass color. Has about a half finger, had about closer to a finger, but now it's a half finger of this very lightly tan colored head. It's going to look more probably off-white on camera, but in person, definitely lightly tan. You can see through it, good clarity. You can make out my hand on the other side. Good carbonation. I think this does have the nucleation at the bottom there to promote the carbonation. But yeah, that looks really nice, albeit I wish I poured it a little bit more aggressive for a better head, but you know, you gotta make do with what you got, so fuck me. Anyway, let's get a nose. Definitely malty. Has a lot of like brown bread, biscuity, almost like a baker's chocolate. Touch of like a caramel too. Man, that smells actually making my mouth water. Smells really good. Very malt driven. So again, like a brown bread, a sweeter brown bread. That cocoa is kind of almost like a baker's chocolate, like cocoa powder vibe. Like very slightly sweetened. It at least smells like it's going to be sweet. But then caramel for sure. Maybe even a slight like touch of like a dark fruit, very minute, like a fig or something. Plum. There's an earthy kind of floral kind of nose to it as well from the hops, but it's not that big. Wow, that smells really good. And I'm all in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, I'd love to have this with like at a Brazilian steakhouse. Obviously with some Mexican food as well, but I feel like when I went to a Brazilian steakhouse before and I've had Dos Equis Amber, like it paired perfectly with all the meat and whatnot, and I feel this would be perfect for going to a Brazilian steakhouse. But anyway, I want to get into it. Cheers, everybody, or should I say salut, and thanks again, Billy. Dude, that's pretty fucking good. Oh, wow, the finish too. Oh man, yeah, I'm into this. I am into this, my friends. I'll just be honest with you. I got to keep it 100 with you guys. you don't see a lot of breweries here in the U.S. brew a Mexican-style dark lager. You'll see Vienna lagers, right? But Mexican-style dark lager, again, it's very influenced from the Vienna-style lagers, but they put their own twist on it. This is somehow like somewhat rich and complex, but still so easy to drink. Like it's so crisp and clean and just, okay. Body's beautiful too. This is like medium body. They could say full bodied for a 5% Mexican style dark lager, and I would not argue that. The mouthfeel, while it is very crisp, this is, pretty high carbonation. It's above moderate, approaching full. It's still, it does, and I mentioned this a lot with Belgian beers and then some German beers, a lot of the German wheat beers. While it does have a high effervescent kind of vibe on the palate, it still remains smooth and creamy on the second half as you finish it. And there's just something about that that's really fun. And when I mention it, I always go deep into it. Like it doesn't really matter probably for a lot of you, but it's such a cool sensation. Yeah, this is medium body, crisp, really clean beer, but still smooth and creamy to some extent. Very high. It's just that it's effervescent, but it's smooth and creamy. Yeah, whatever. The taste, the nose carried over. Forefront, brown bread, sweeter brown bread. More of a drying cocoa powder, but there's a little bit of sweetness there. There's even like a touch of like very lightly roasted coffee, a touch of caramel as well. A little bit of that underlying, and now in the taste, it's more like a raisin kind of plummy dark fruit. But again, it's very, very minute. As it passes through, I get a little bit of a honey too, like a little bit, again, sweeter, like almost like a slight drizzle of honey on like a brown bread. But on the second half of the palate, this is where this beer balances out beautifully and becomes something quite delicious. It has this nice earthy floral finish, and it finishes quite dry, firmly dry, with a mild to moderate bitterness, more approaching mild, I would say, than moderate. But it's balanced enough to kind of keep the sweetness from all that malt goodness. There's also a little bit of like a biscuit too. Can I taste like any corn? Is this using any corn? I don't know. I can't really specify in the taste. I think that corn's probably just helping the crisp nature of this one. Maybe a little bit of the sweetness as well. This is fucking tasty. So, Billy sent me these beers, and two of the IPAs were older, not the fault of him. He bought them fresh from the brewery, and they were both over 3 months old when he bought them. And I reviewed them just under 4 months old. That was a bummer. They were both, you could tell they were going to be good old school American / West Coast IPAs, but they had faded. However, the hazy IPA was really nice for what it is. This, I didn't know what to expect because I don't drink this style really much at all. I've probably reviewed 1 or 2 on the channel. But I'm liking this. I want more Mexican style dark lagers. This is like, it's basically like a Vienna lager, right? Or like a German, or like a Czech style dark lager. And those are my jams. And this is really delicious. Is it the best like dark lager I've ever had? It is not. But is it really fucking delicious? It is. Let me do one more sip because I'm between 2 scores. 5% you can't tell. I think this has a beautiful balance. The body and mouthfeel are spectacular. And the taste has a complexity about it, yet it remains very easy to drink. Like, I could drink multiple bottles of this and just enjoy myself and not worry about the tasting notes. But if I want to get nerdy like I am right now, like a fucking uber nerd, I can pick apart different characteristics, and I'm not bullshitting you, which is the good part. It's not like I'm making stuff up, right? One more sip. Yeah, this is, there's a little bit of like I mentioned this in most lager reviews, but there's a little bit of like this sulfuric lager funk on the finish that really lets me know it's a lager, right? I might be getting a little of that corny tinge now on the finish. If they use corn in here, if not, it's something akin to that. Anyway, I'm going to go way higher than I anticipated. And I always say don't go into a review with preconceived notions. With this one, did I think I was going to be an absolutely fucking amazing beer? I really didn't. I was just like, I hope it's a good, well-made, enjoyable dark lager. It fucking is, and then some. So, Laguna Baja from North Coast. Fucking low 4.5, but 4.4. Yeah, I just gave this a 4.4. You know why? Because it deserves it. Plain and simple. It deserves that rating. So, that's why I'm giving it that. And here we are. Beautiful. 4.4 out of 5. Great job, North Coast. Now, just sell fresh IPAs at the brewery, please. Please. So Billy, if he ever goes and buys some for himself, singles, he doesn't have 3+ month old IPAs. Price point availability. This is a year-round offering. I checked their website year-round, and I've never seen it here in Buffalo, New York. We do get a handful of their offerings. I've never seen this one, so I don't know if this makes it out of California, but it's a year-round beer, so just let that be known. And the price point was $11.99 six-pack all fucking day long. All day long. No questions asked. $12 for a six-pack, $2 a bottle. Yes, it's that good to me. So if anybody out there has had this beer, please post in the comment section. Am I way off base? Is this not as good as I say it is? Is it even better than I think it is? I mean, let's be honest. Our opinions are our own. You know, beer is subjective. You think what you think. After having those 2 subpar IPAs because of the age, kind of disappointed, and then they totally redeemed themselves with this one. You guys will catch the reference, or you should anyway. Thanks again to Billy for this one. Like I said, I got Scrimshaw next. You might see it before this one. It's gonna be hard pressed for that beer to be better than this one. I'm just being honest with you. I don't. Maybe it will be. It is German style Pilsner. I'm not gonna review the Tart Cherry Berliner Weiss, and then the last beer I will review probably as we enter fall will be Old Stock because that is more of a colder weather beer, and I kind of want to drink it when it's not 90 degrees outside. Although today it's like 85. But this is still also hitting the spot from a refreshing standpoint. Like I could drink this in warmer weather and not be like, oh, I wish I had, a super light lager at 4%. No, I could drink a bunch of these because it's refreshing enough. So anyway, if you've had this one before, please post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again to Billy. Till the next one. Cheers. Salud.